All right, so we're going to look at equations of motion. So the position time equation of motion gives the object's initial position at any time if its initial position and constant velocity are known. So the equation is this right here. Final position equals initial position plus velocity times the time that goes by, or the time that's elapsed. And this will be your first kinematic equation that you will use. Now, the position time equation gives a straight line for motion, so it's going to be one of these constant velocity curves graphs that we've talked about. Now, the intercept is the initial position, so this will be my initial position right here. And then the slope will be its velocity, and then time on the x, position on the y. So as time increases, you can see what your position will be at on this graph. But slope is the v, and the initial position is the y-intercept. So for example, a skateboard with initial position of 1.5 moves with a constant velocity of 3 meters per second. What is the position of the skateboard? The only thing you have to know is the time. And here's our equation, xf equals xi plus vt. As we substitute 1.5 in for initial position and 3.0 for velocity, we get final position is equal to 1.5 plus 3t. And if we can substitute the amount of time in there, we can find our position anywhere on this graph. So now this equation is often, or looks like this right here, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Now if we flip-flop mx and b, we get this, y is equal to b plus mx. Y equals b plus mx is the same as final position equals initial position plus velocity times time. And you can see here the correlation. Y and xf, it's a variable on the vertical axis, so on the y-axis. B is the x-intercept or the y-intercept, and xi is when time is 0 where you're at, so a starting position. M is the slope, v, the velocity is the slope, and x and t is the variable on the x-axis. And you can see how these two totally relate to each other. So position time graphs intersect when objects are at the same location. So here, A starts at somewhere between 10 and 15, so 12.5, and moves. B starts at 5, but moves faster because it's a steeper line. And then we wait, and where the lines meet, right here, which is about 1 3/4 seconds in, somewhere like probably 14 or so meters, at the 14 meter position they meet.